All right, let's get specific right into Barrie and talking about their freehold market. We've seen a month-over-month increase, in fact. So let's change this one to green while we're here because they've been up 1.3%, as well as their transaction volume going up as well, moving from 121 units to 130. And look at how cool that is that we're updating that stuff on the fly as we record. Termination volume, like we've seen in a lot of other places, increasing. Unlike Simcoe as a whole, it did increase more year over year than it did month over month. And that's people dialing in their prices. And so I'd say here, when I see this, I think that it's working. People are adjusting their pricing. We're starting to see more transactions happen. It's not huge when we look at our year over year. You know, we're down that 35%. Used to seeing 202 units, now we're seeing 130. And actually, Matt, I will say, when you look at that 2.7 decrease year over year in median price, again, not bad in comparison to others. We have to remember when we're looking at this number, you got to think back to the start of 2024, where we actually had a pretty strong little boost in the market there for the first 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah, it was a strong market. So we've seen a lot of other areas where this year over year number has been a lot higher percentage wise. So for it to be at the 2.7% mark, it's holding up quite well compared to some other places, that's for sure.
I think we're poised to see year over year gains in the next couple of months. I think that's what we're going to start seeing happen there in the Barrie market. So talk to me about new listing activity, because I can see here we're not doing bad in terms of new inventory hitting the market.
New listings, only 390 new listings, and typically we're in the 500s to 600 range for new listings. So definitely 200 to 300 new listings down from where we typically are, which is helping ease that pressure that, if we were seeing all-time highs at 8, 9 to 1,000 new freeholds, it would have a massive effect on potentially the price. So the new listings, there's not a huge rush to try and sell a property in that area right now, and that's benefiting the market, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. When we see active listings, same thing. We're hovering right around the middle of what we should be. Like, Barrie is not looking bad in that sense. Yes, we've seen sales volume down in a lot of areas, but to see this hovering around the middle in terms of active listings, I do think that this will still continue to rise because we should see more new listings coming on the market soon, I would think. I don't know if we're going to necessarily see that rollover that we've seen, like we've talked about. It'll probably move across a little bit, but as sales come, this could decline a little bit. Who knows if it'll happen in May like we've seen in other years, or maybe we see it as early as April. But it's looking pretty good. It's got to happen here, Matt. It's got to happen on the sales volume.
Yeah, it has to, and it's just like everywhere. This is. I don't know if we've looked at one place that's had sales that weren't the lowest they've been since 2011. So this is across the board. This isn't new or typical for just one place. This is
exactly.
Across the board.
This isn't a Barrie issue. This is across the board.
A Barrie issue. This is across the board. And one thing we notice here is we came down in February, but we came up, the 1.3% from February to March, which is a good sign. But look how low we are over the last 14 years. And I know for certainty, if we didn't have the low buyer confidence because of what's happening south of the border, because we're in a federal election right now, there's a lot of uncertainty. This number will improve, and the fact that Barrie is not seeing a massive influx of active or new listings, prices will hold up a little bit better in this area than some of the other areas that we've looked at.
Agreed. When we're looking at that median price, again, we're above the 2021 numbers. We're above the 2023 numbers. Like, this is not something we've seen in a lot of pockets. So to see Barrie outperforming in terms of their median price, that's just great for Barrie to see how they're doing it. And like we talked about, we've already seen their adjustments. So their adjustment happened, but again, they're still outpacing those years, right? Yeah. Which a lot of places aren't. So adjustment, whether it happened then or not, there's other municipalities, other regions that got hit harder in terms of the last couple of years.
Yeah.
And that's kind of all there is to it when I see that.
Yeah, and then on the months of inventory, we've seen months of inventory twice before significantly higher in the last couple of years than where we're at now. Most other areas are making like new highs
Mm-hmm.
over the last.
They're going like this.
This is only 3.72. Most areas that we're looking at are around 6%.
Yeah, 5 to 6 months of inventory easily. So for this to be down there at 3.72, very comfortably in a balanced market is it's very positive to see for Barrie.
And if you're wanting to sell a freehold property in Barrie, like don't be scared to put it on the market right now.
Yeah.
Prices are holding. Prices are kind of moving to the upside. Once those buyers start coming back to the market, I think there's going to be some pent-up demand, and the properties that are on the market are going to see the benefits of that.
Yeah, exactly. Because what we haven't seen in Barrie has been a massive uptick in new listings. So if you're out there in that sweet spot, there's going to be more demand for your property than when all those other listings start to hit. Because we've seen in so many other areas, people have been listing or waiting to list. And right now, Barrie's just been a little stagnant in new listings, which has been great because we're seeing good numbers come from it. But at the same point, we know that they're just around the corner.